Welcome back to my channel, guys. Now my Discord link is on the screen and in the description down below. Now if there is one tip in this video that you've not heard before, or if there's one tip in here that you really like and it helps you out massively, please drop a like on this video for me, because it's for new people as well, and it's the best way to let everyone get to benefit from these tips. So yeah, cheers, let's get straight into it. Okay, welcome back, guys. Right, I'm going to get straight into these tips for you. So, first off, what I would do if I was spawning on the base, this is tip number one. I would first thing check the map. So what you want to do is check the map and decide where you want to build. So let's just say, for argument's sake, you wanted to build in K6. So what you want to do is check the map, find where you want to live, and then start heading in that direction. Okay, tip number two, a lot of people debate what is the best strategy to do for when you first start. Now, if there is abundance of cloth, like I've just found here right next to where I've spawned, okay, go for 50 cloth and go for that stone node and the wood and get that bow, because you're obviously going to be a lot better. But let's pretend there isn't much cloth around. First thing you want to do is smack a tree in. Smack that tree in and get that spear. You might have to do 2 trees depending on things, but the reason I say get a spear off the bat is, yes, you're more likely to get killed if you bump into a geared guy, but that could happen anyway. But there's nothing worse than having a bit of stuff on you and then a naked with another stone, or he's got a spear, chases you down when you're heading somewhere. So get that spear, like I've just started crafting. Get that spear and you can defend yourself against other nakeds on when you're heading towards where you want to start building. Okay, tip number 3. Obviously, if you see a stone node on your travels, hit that in, because you can make a hatchet. Because you're going to need a hatchet when you get to your destination. But the main objective now is just find cloth on your way. Maybe some mushrooms. Find some cloth. Once you've got that 30 cloth, you can just craft that sleeping bag, and you can put them down as you're heading there. I mean, if you've got to travel quite a long way, I mean, you can use the F1 type kill, press enter, so you can get a closer spawn to where you want your destination is. But if you're quite close and you're just running it, just put a bag down. If you're quite close, maybe put 1 or 2 bags down on the way there. But when you get to your destination, definitely put another bag down so you can spawn next to where you're going to be farming. Okay, so when you make it to your destination like I have, what you want to do is place your bag down. I tend to hide them in bushes. I've got a camoed one, so it does hide a little bit better, but pop it in a bush. And then what you want to do is farm some wood. I want to aim for about 6,500 wood and about 200 or 300 stones. And the tip for farming trees, in my personal opinion, is you hit a tree. The last 2 hits on the tree before it falls will creak. I'll try and let you hear them now if you listen carefully. That was creak number 1. Now it's going to creak again. Ready? Right, so now 1 more hit and that tree is going to fall down. Now, I'm going to make these distances up in my head, but just play along with it. So, I say that people can hear me hitting that tree at 100 meters, say, right? But they can hear a tree fall down for, say, 400 meters. This is totally made up. I'm just guessing this, right? So, only people are going to come and kill you hitting trees if they're close to you. Whereas if you knock a tree down, people can come from a long, further distance to come and kill you. So what I do is I make this tree 1 hit. Then I'll go around and make this tree creak twice until it's 1 hit. And then I'll do about 4 or 5 trees, make them all 1 hit. And then what I do is I'll speed this up and then I'll show you what I do. Okay, so these trees, I've done 4 trees, they're pretty much all 1 hit, some of them might be 2. So what I do is knock them all down. See, they all fall down quite quick. And then what I'll do is run away from that area because someone's going to be coming fast. So then what I do is I'll find a nice little hidey spot where no one's likely to go. Let's just say in this bush here, and I'll just go drop that wood that I've just got down in that bush, and then I'll go maybe farm some more. Once I've got what I need, then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, once I've hit some more trees down and got that, I quickly run back. And the reason why I dump stuff in the bush is because if you get killed getting your second or third load of wood, obviously you're going to lose everything you've got. Whereas at least if I get killed, I can spawn on my bag, come back to the bush where I planted that wood earlier and pick all that up. So then once I've got that, you craft a building plan and a hammer, and then what we do is we build my special 2x1, which can't do there. So I'll do that, do it on this side. There we go. And I'll put a link to this 2x1 base up in the top right hand corner. I won't build the whole thing now. So that's the basic floor plan of it. Okay, now this base is up and it's so cheap, and it costs 10 satchels to TC, or if you put a metal double door here, it's 14 satchels to raid the lot. I tend to live out of these if I'm solo because they hardly ever get raided. Plus, when you get established and you've got more resources, go put up another one a little distance away. So that's the next tip, basically. Just have multiple small bases, and split your loot. So obviously, if you get raided, one gets raided, you've still got something to live out of, because if all your eggs are in one basket and you get raided, you've been deleted from the server and it is back to square one. Okay, the next tip is getting your health up for cheap without having to waste your cloth on bandages or eating all your food. So the first and easiest option, unless you have a rug or a chair, is turn your campfire on, and you will go up to 50% comfort. When you're at 50% comfort, make sure that your food bar underneath the hydration bar and your health is above 100, and when that is above 100, your health will creep upwards. Right, there we go. As you can see, I went up to 84, but that was probably because I ate an extra mushroom to get that extra bit. So I think it goes up to around about 80, 81, just from making sure your food bar's high and sitting next to your campfire. The other option, if you found a rug, is what you can do is we can turn that off, and then we get the rug. And we will place the rug on the roof. Make sure it's not poking out your base, so as you can see, it's going to be there. And then if I stand on this box here, the comfort bar should go up a bit higher. It goes up to 81% comfort. I think you can get 82 or 83 by moving around. There we go, 83% comfort. And as we can see now, my food bar has dropped a bit more, but it's boosted me up to 93 health. So it's not a massive difference, but if you've got a rug, it's worth it because you just get that extra HP. And then you can just use one bandage or a bit of food just to top you up to 100. Another little tip when you're out and about, guys, these next ones are just for when you're out and about to avoid getting killed now, rather than base and health stuff. So if you need to go out and farm wood and you need to go out and farm nodes, it's best to go out and farm your nodes first. Farm a few nodes, go drop them back at your base, because like I said, people can only hear you hitting nodes from a smaller range. So you go hit the nodes, drop them back in your base, then come out and go for your wood, because when those trees fall down, it's going to alert people in a larger radius around where those trees are falling, and it's potentially going to drag players over to the area looking for you and what you've got on you. So do the nodes first and then do the trees afterwards. Okay, my next tip is when you're heading to your base sometimes, or if you're just hanging around, try not to get seen going into your base. I know that's hard and it sounds absolutely stupid. I totally understand. I mean, if you've killed someone or you've been on a big loot run and you're loaded and someone's up on that hill, then whatever, go in your base. You've got a bank. It's just, yeah. But I mean, if you've only got a gear set on you or something that's not really, like if someone can see that you've got a hazmat suit on and a pistol or something, and you run into a 1x2, they know that you've got at least one gun in there, and it just gives them maybe a reason to raid your base. So if you can help it, avoid it. I mean, for example, if this was my base and all I had was a PvP gear set on me, and I seen some geared guys over there, I'd either challenge them, or if it was 3 guys, maybe think about dipping out back this way, go up the cliff, go around the mountain, and come back down, try and lose them. If they see you go in your base, you're only going to be trapped in there. They're only going to keep coming over to this area, and just so yeah, that's just another tip to try and avoid getting raided. Okay, this next tip is another one to try and just help yourself avoid getting raided again. So if you hear some footsteps outside your base, someone just literally just run straight past your base, there is a great temptation to do this and just go, oh right, okay, just go straight out and go after them and kill them. They've heard the doors open, they know you live there, they know that they don't like you anymore, and they've give you you've given them a reason to raid you, basically. So if you really do want to go chase that person down, let them run out of range of footsteps before you go out and chase them, so they don't know where you've come from. Or the other option is just let them go. It's totally up to you, obviously, but don't let them hear you open the doors and come out and kill them, because, like I said, you're just giving people reasons. Right, this next tip is basically, if you hear footsteps outside, don't start opening all your doors, closing doors and turning furnaces on and doing all this type of stuff, because they just know you're in there, and all they're going to do is they're just going to run past your base, and then what they'll do is they'll just creep back and make no footsteps, and then what'll happen is they'll be sat out there for like 15 minutes and you won't even know, and then the next time you open this door, bang, you're dead. They've door camped you. So the best thing to do is, sometimes if you hear those footsteps, just make no noise. Make no noise at all, and they'll either just run past because they'll think you're not in there, or they'll just, if they did hear something and then they waiting outside and then you're not making any more noise, they'll just think, oh, well, did I hear something? But it's just another good rear tip to try and help yourself not get door camped. Okay, this next tip is do not cook at night time. Now, the reason for this is it just puts a giant target on your head. Anyone that is roaming or just running around at night, they will either door camp you, or they will just know that you're in there and you're up to stuff. They can hear your furnaces or whatever you're doing. Yeah, it's just don't do it. Just wait until it's daytime, turn your furnaces off at night, and then turn them on. I mean, from the outside, your base is just lit up like a Christmas tree. I mean, yeah, no good things can come from cooking at night. I mean, in my honest opinion, just do other stuff at night. Sort your boxes, go out and roam, go out and just do whatever you can. But yeah, I would avoid doing that, because, like I said, it gives people a reason to raid you, door camp you, or just hang around this area because they know you're online. So yeah, that's that tip. Okay, following on from that last tip, do not use your torch in your base at night. It is exactly the same as cooking at night, it just alerts people. So you're probably thinking, well, how am I going to navigate around my base at night if I can't see? So This one does require skins. Some are quite cheap, some are quite expensive, but you can get some cheap ones. So for me, you know where your front door is on your base. You go in, and then obviously I've got a door skin there, as you can see. So I know that that is my metal front door. So I can open that, and then I've got in here a small box. I know if I just turn this on for you, I know exactly that that small box is in the middle of the room. So I know where my furnaces are, and this is that door that lights up, as you can see. And then if I open this, I mean, I've got those Christmas tree lights. Those Christmas lights are very expensive, so maybe not get them. But sleeping bag that lights up, or boxes that light up. I can navigate perfectly around my base. I know exactly where my TC is. I know where my boxes are, and people don't know because I haven't got my torch on. You can't see any of these from the outside. So that's just another tip. Okay, the next nighttime tip is basically if you're at the stage of the wipe where you have multiple small bases. What you want to do is you want to split your loot into your other bases, obviously. So the best thing to do is wait till it's nighttime. When the moon's out, you can still do it when the moon's out, but it's a bit riskier. So the best thing to do is wait till it's pitch black and there's no moon. Obviously I don't know how to simulate that now, but yeah, when the moon's down and it's pitch black and you can't even see, that is the time to gear up and run cross map and get to that other base and dump your loot there. Okay, the next tip is jump a lot. When you're jumping, you're making less noise than you are when you're walking. So if there's a guy top of this hill, maybe I just seen him hitting a tree or something. If I run up like this, he's gonna hear me. Then the other option is you go permanently silent, which is creep. That's fine. If you think he's going to be there, it's risky because it takes a long time. But the other thing you can do is if he's hitting a tree, you can try and jump to the sound of him hitting the tree. Or the other option is if you're just roaming. If you're jumping, right, as soon as you hear someone's footsteps, you can crouch. Now all the opponent would have heard, your enemy, he would have heard that one little step, and you might think, oh, that could have been an animal. Did I really hear it? Could have been his own footstep. So it does throw people off sometimes. So jumping around a lot does make a big difference when you're roaming for PvP, because obviously it just gives you that you're making less noise. So just bear that one in mind. Okay, my next tip is basically in your base somewhere, have a small box or something like that. I tend to, well, I wouldn't use this one here because it's a bad example, honestly, because it's a drop box. But have a box somewhere just dedicated for a PvP gear set and just leave it there. So for example, look, I've put a surgeon scrubs, which is the equivalent of like a hazmat suit pretty much. You could just have a row of cloth clothes, or depending where you are in the wipe, your bow or your gun with some ammo, and then some meds and some food to quickly get you up to 100% health. And the reason for this is it's like an emergency box. So if you get killed by someone, you've got loads of loot on you and you're just outside your base, like you're just up here. You're literally just up here and you've been killed and you've got loads of loot on you. You can literally just spawn on your sleeping bag. You can just grab this gear set. There we go. Grab this gear set, chuck it on, get the weapon and your meds, and you can be out that door. Boom. Straight out, and you can munch on the food, get yourself up, and then you can try and recover what you've lost. So yeah, it's a good thing to have that emergency gear set there. So yeah, that's that tip. Right, next one again is very similar to the emergency gear set that we have stored in the base, and this one is pop down a sleeping bag. I have to get one second, a sleeping bag. There we go. So pop down a sleeping bag somewhere. So this bush here looks quite nice. So you put down a sleeping bag, and then nearby look for a spot to put down a small stash. So you have a small stash, and I don't know, you could just, not the best at placing these. I mean, sometimes a place like this is too obvious, but it's easy to remember. So nearby here, I don't know, you could just go, right, I'm going to place one. That's too obvious as well. So let's just go in this crack here somewhere. So pop it there, so it's not far from your bag. Pop your gear set in there with some food and some bandages or some meds, whatever you want. I mean, in my honest opinion, I wouldn't put too much in there. So maybe even just the bow, maybe just that. Just a little gear set, just to get yourself up to 100% and bury it. So then, same thing can happen if there's someone outside your base and you can't get out, because you could literally spawn on this bag, come over here, open this, and then have a pop at it. And you can do multiples of these. Do some up on top of the hill. You could do some scattered around. I mean, if you're near a monument, you could put some around by a monument. So if you died in the monument, then you could spawn just outside and have a chance to go back in and retrieve your loot and kill whoever killed you. Okay, next up we're going to talk weapons. Now obviously you're going to make bows to start with, and in all honesty it's always a good idea sometimes to stick a yoker pistol in your back pocket. I mean, for the people that are new, obviously they're random on how often they fire. It could be 3 taps, it could be 1 tap, but they are good for that close quarters. If someone pushes you, you can seriously do some damage with these, so they are good. Obviously what you want to be aiming for, if you want to try and make a play on someone who's got a lot of gear, it's very hard to do it with a bow. So Revies are good as well, but they do take there's a lot higher skill gap between the Revy and a shotgun. So when you're solo, sometimes it's better to be sneaky with the shotgun. So if you find a water pipe, definitely research it. Definitely, because they fire instantly as soon as you click the trigger, but they only hold 1 bullet. But the one you were looking for, the playmaker of all solo guns, has to be the double barrel shotgun. If you get one of these, make sure you research it. Obviously it's only got 1 bullet in it, but 2 shots up close to someone can pretty much kill anybody. So that is the gun to go for, guys. So yeah, make sure you research it. Right, this next tip, you're going to say to me, right, well, I shouldn't do this because I want to play solo, but hear me out, hear me out. So this last tip is basically ally with a neighbour. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to share a base with them. It doesn't mean that every time they're on, you have to go roam with them. You don't have to do all these things, but if you see there's a solo neighbour nearby, or if you can sweet talk a group or whatever, and you can be in the same group with them by pressing tab, creating that group, and then being in the same group, all it'll do is that when you look on the map, you'll know if he's nearby, so you won't kill each other. You can also, if one dies, you could maybe go over and assist them, and you might profit some loot out of it. And it just basically means that you're not going to kill each other, because when 2 solos live next to each other and they fight amongst themselves, you're just slowing each other's progression down, really. So sometimes it is just good to ally with the neighbour, even if it's just a peace treaty, just because they're so close. That's all it is. So yeah, I hope these tips have helped you guys. If there's any tips in here that you've never heard before, there should be plenty of them, because I've come up with most of these all myself, and some of them are just common sense, I know that, but I wanted to make this guide for people who are brand new, as well as people that struggle just to play solo survival. So if there's any tips in this video that you thought were helpful or you use, yeah, drop a like on this video for me, that's going to help, or even subscribe and I'll try and think of some more survival tips, or you can watch some of my other base videos or trap videos or tutorials. So yeah, I'll catch you guys later.
Gotta be the patient,